story of the day. Of course, the fallout from the post office scandal is continuing.
Yeah, now, the tech company that built the Horizon IT system has reportedly demanded immunity before appearing at a public inquiry.
Yes, this is specifically Gareth Jenkins. He gave evidence saying that Fujitsu's system was not corrupt, and it helped, that evidence that was used regularly by lawyers, to wrongfully convict more than 700 postmasters.
Well, meanwhile, the former post office boss, Paula Venables, has bowed to public pressure and given up her CBE. She's now facing calls to return millions of pounds in bonuses.
Well, let's bring in our political correspondent, Katherine Forster, who has more on this. I mean, this story just keeps on bringing up new lines in all of this. The Horizon architect demanding immunity will raise a few eyebrows. How on earth can that be the case? The person who created the software that led to all these convictions saying, I'll only talk about this if I'm not going to get prosecutions myself.
Yes, it's quite incredible, isn't it? As more and more details emerge, it becomes even more shocking, if that's possible. So this tech guy who basically invented this faulty Horizon system, he gave evidence saying that it was not corrupt. That directly led to the wrongful convictions of hundreds of innocent postmasters. He is largely responsible for the mess that these people find themselves in, and yet he's saying there is a public inquiry ongoing, and he's basically saying, well, I'm only going to give evidence to this inquiry when you grant me immunity. I mean, just incredible. Also, more questions about Fujitsu, the company as a whole, because it's turning out now that since 2012, the government has awarded them 200 contracts worth billions and billions of pounds. This is a company that's really embedded within our systems. You know, they are in charge of the flood alert system for England, amongst much else. And it seems that they haven't been held to account, and they're still being given all these very lucrative contracts. We are expecting an update from the government today, and obviously Rishi Sunak will be under pressure to elaborate what they're doing to speed up the quashing of these convictions and also speed up compensation. So we should be hearing from the government about this a little bit later.
I just want to run through a right of reply from Fujitsu, who operated all of this. And they say the current Post Office Horizon IT statutory inquiry is examining complex events stretching back over 20 years. Fujitsu has apologised for its role in their suffering. So that's what the companies had to say. Katherine, it is the first PMQs of this election year today. And frankly, even though the Prime Minister's a little bit out of the fray when it comes to the post office scandal, I have to say it's going to be a rough ride today for him, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, you know, we're only just back to Parliament. We're only in the second week of the year, and already the Prime Minister under a lot of pressure. I mean, sure, he's not sort of in the firing line, particularly about the Horizon scandal, although that he is under pressure to get this sorted. But clearly, next week, the Rwanda bill is coming back to Parliament. We know that the various different factions within the Conservative parties want very different things. Rebels tabling these amendments. We'll be hearing more from them later. But of course, Rishi Sunak made clear previously that Rwanda itself said that they would pull out of the scheme if the bill went any further than it already does. So they're trying to tread an incredibly fine line. They can't please everybody, of course. They certainly can't please everybody within their own party. If it gets to the Lords, there'll be another almighty row there, let alone if they actually try to get flights to take off. And of course, Rishi Sunak has staked so much on stopping the boats. He's said it over and over again. I think everybody knows that's not going to happen before the general election. But he's desperately in need of a win and would dearly love flights to Rwanda. But at the moment, who knows whether it's ever going to happen.
OK, Katherine, thanks very much indeed.